Hi, welcome to my video on the review of exponent rules with integral exponents. Integral exponents is integer exponents. This is the first video in the unit on exponential function. And there's also a unit done in Algebra 1 underneath the topic of exponents. Have a look over that and you'll see these same rules again. But in this unit, the questions will be a little bit harder. The zero exponent, b to the 0 equals 1, if b is not 0, because 0 to the 0 is not defined. Let's evaluate each, find the answer. So 2 to the 0 is 1. 1/3 to the 0 is 1. 7 bracket 4 to the 0. Notice the 4 is to the 0, not the 7, so 4 to the 0 is 1. So 7 times 1 is 7. And here we have 3x to the 0, 2 cubed, so we have a 7. So 3x to the 0 is 1. And 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Multiply 7/8 are 56. And in here we have to do BEDMAS first. 4 plus 9 is, 4 plus 5 is 9 to the 0. And 9 to the 0 is 1. Notice right here, similar to this one, but we have 4 to the 0, which is 1, plus 5 to the 0, which is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So notice we have to do the inside of this bracket first, and then do the 0 power. Here we have to do the 0 power on each, and then work it out to be a 2. A negative exponent, b to the negative n, is either 1 over b to the n or 1 over b to the n power. So you can do either or. So 3 to the negative 1 is 1 over 3 to the 1, which is 1 over 3. Negative 2 to the negative 3 is 1 over negative 2 cubed, which is 1 over negative times the negative times the negative. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, so that gives me negative 1/8. And 2/3 to the negative 2, well, if you think about it, the negative is moving it down to the bottom, so a shortcut here is to change the negative 2 to a positive and flip your fraction to a 3 over 2. Because the negative is, notice 3 is 3 over 1 becomes 1 over 3. So flipping the fraction, making the exponent positive and flipping the fraction, get a reciprocal. Now we squared, 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4. And in D, I have a negative 16, and I have a half to the negative 2. So a half to the negative 2, make the exponent positive, and make the half 2 over 1 or 2. So we have to work the power. 16, 2 squared is 4, so that gives us a negative 64. And we do PEMDAS, we always work the inside first, so 4 to the 0 is 1. That's done. Then 1 plus 5 is 6, so 6 to the negative 1 is 1 over 6 to the 1, or 1/6. And F, 7x squared all raised to the 0 power is 1, minus 4 over 3 to the negative 1 is just a 3 over 4 to the 1 power. So 1 is 4 over 4 minus 3 over 4. That gives us 1/4. And we have a product rule. Simplify each. So a product rule, x to the a times x to the b is x to the a plus b. So I just left this off so I could write it in. So when we multiply exponentials with the same bases, we keep the base and we add the exponents. So notice these have the same base, so we keep the x. So 3 plus 6 gives us x to the 9. And here that's a 1, so that's x. When we multiply like bases, we add the exponents. 7 plus 1 is 8. And when we multiply, we're multiplying like bases of x, that's a 1. So we get x to the 4 subtract 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So when we multiply, we add the exponents. And here we have x to the negative 2. The base is x. So when we multiply, we add negative 2, add on negative 3 is negative 5. And because we have a negative exponent, there's 1 over x to the 5. And notice we can simplify each one of these, or we can go same basis as a half. So there's a half. And that's 3. Add on negative 6 is a negative 3. So that becomes negative exponent, make it positive. So a half is a 2. So 2 cubed is 8. So just reviewing the exponent rule to start off this unit. And we also have a quotient rule. Quotient rule, x to the a divided by x to the b is x to the a minus b. Previous rule is we're multiplying same basis, we add exponents. When we're dividing with the same basis, we subtract the exponents. So we're dividing, same basis, 10 minus 6. So that's 4, x to the 4. That's a 1. We're dividing, so we subtract. 3 subtract 1 is 2. And notice now, we're dividing, same basis as x, so it's 4. And we're dividing, so we subtract a negative 1. So that's x to the 4 plus 1, so it's x to the 5. Again, we're dividing, same basis, we subtract. And we have the same basis of 2/3. And because we're dividing, we subtract, so 4 subtract 2 is 2. And we get 2 over 3 squared. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. And the next rule is a power of a power. So x to the a raised to the b power is x to the a times b. So this is x cubed squared. So remember, it's written like x cubed times x cubed. So that's x to the 6. But the short way, because it's raised to a power of a power, we multiply. We get 6. So writing down x cubed twice and then adding, shorter way is just to multiply. So this is y, power of a power, 4 times 5 makes 20. We got a power of a power, so it's a. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And a to the negative 4 is 1 over a to the 4. And a power of a power, b, negative times negative positive, so that's a 3. And we have a power of a power, so we have 1/4. Negative times the negative is a positive, so that's a 2. So 1 over 4 squared. 1 squared is 1. 4 squared is 16. And we have a power of a product. So AB is a product of these two terms raised to the x power, so it's the same as a to the x, b to the x. So each, that's a 1 and a 1, so the x is distributed into those powers. So x squared y cubed to the 4th power is a power of a power, so it's an 8. And y, 3 times 4 is 12. Again, a power of a power, that's a 1. So we have 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And 4 times 2 is 8. Because it's being squared, so we're doubling the powers. And right here we have x. Negative 1 times negative 3 is 3. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. But we shouldn't have any negative exponents right around, so that's x cubed. And that's 1 over y squared. So that's really x cubed over y squared. Notice the negative power goes down to the bottom because it becomes 1 over, that's x cubed over 1. So the x cubed stays on top because it's positive, but this moves to the denominator. Power of a power, we have h. 6 times 3 is 18. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So we have h to the 18. And This becomes 1 over, so that becomes k cubed on the bottom. This becomes 1 over m to the 6. So the negative 3 moves to the bottom, the negative 6 moves to the bottom because it becomes 1 over. And we'll continue to review the rules. And another rule is the power of a quotient. So in multiplying, we distributed the power in, so we have an a to the x divided by b to the x. So the 4 is distributed in through, so it's 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12. And the negative 2 is distributed in, so it's x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2, and 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And we have, notice y to the negative 8 is on the bottom, so that moves to the top to become y to the 8th negative exponent. If you had y to the negative 8 over x squared, then it would be 1 over x squared y to the 8th. The negative exponent moves to from numerator to denominator. C, a to the 6 cubed is a to the 18. Negative 3 times 2, so negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So that's a to the 18. There's a negative on the bottom, so that's b to the 6th. And we can't simplify because they're not the same basis. And we simplify this, we have 2 to the negative 9 all over. That's 4 to the negative 6. So that becomes 4 to the 6 all over 2 to the 9. And what happens here is that the 4, if you think about it, the 4 is 2 squared to the 6 over 2 to the 9. So that's 2 to the 12 over 2 to the 9. We're dividing, so we subtract 12, subtract 9 is 3. So that gives us an 8. So notice I took the 4 and wrote it as a 2 squared. Because this was a 2, I made the 4 a 2. 2 squared. So that's a power of a power, so I multiply. Because they're like bases, now I subtract exponents. E, we have to the 5th power, so that's x to the negative 5. Multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. All over. That's an F. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. And we have negative numbers in the powers and exponents. So y to the 20 stays there. X to the negative 5 goes down because it becomes 1 over. And f to the negative 10 moves to the numerator. So this one moves down, this one stays, this one moves up. And we can't simplify this because they're all different bases. So that's just a review of the exponent rules that I'm going to use in this in the videos on doing the exponential function. And if you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video was of some help to you. Bye-bye.